Hello, we are Team 29 and we're currently working on the phase lock loop simulation software. Our project mentors are Anthony Medica and Paul Hale. My name is Hubert.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Timothy. And since our last video that we made in the beginning of the semester, working with various meetings with our team sponsors, we've delegated tasks between the three of us here. My tasks since our last video has been the researching of filter formulas that's going to be used to implement inside of our GUI system within the following months, and we hope to incorporate it a little bit over December. Specifically, the main filter that we're working on right now, that I'm working on, is the active RC filter, and the reasoning for that is because it's going to be used later on to incorporate with Betterworth, with Chebyshev, with passive filters that we hope to implement next semester.
Nice. Okay. And what I've been working on is the PLL formulas. So those consist of the VCO and the phase detector. So I've been working with Tim, trying to figure out how to incorporate the filter formulas with the basic PL formulas. And so far we have an Excel document stating each formula down that we're planning to incorporate into our GUI.
Alright, so I've been working on the coding the GUI. We can give you an example. I'll grab the phone and look. So this is the main page of our GUI that we have so far. Kind of goes over a bunch of inputs. There's drop downs for the different frequencies depending on what you want. The S domain settings, the transient response settings, filter design, loop parameters, and then the graphing portion. So inside each of these there are sub-menus. So like the filter design, like Tim was talking about, we got our active C. So when you select the different filters, it changes the picture, and it also changes the different capacitors, resistors, inductors, all your different options. So we'll just select active C since that's the main one we're working on. So here's the picture, here's the different inputs, the capacitors, the third and fourth pole calculations. I'm not exactly sure what all these do yet, but working with our mentors, they're going to explain a little bit more so we can figure out the equations and how to get these to get the correct noise. But so far, we can enter random values in here, and then you'll see from like here to our main page, you hit apply, and they actually update. That was one of the, I guess, the options that our mentors wanted. They wanted these to be able to feed back so you can actually see what you're doing. So we'll hit cancels. And also like the noise contributors, this has been a large amount of time was put into this, because with the different buttons that we use, it also changes the frame. That's what we call it, the frame. So each one changes depending on what you want. So there's tons of different inputs on here. Then in each one there's different drop downs, if I can find one. So there's like buttons. There's some drop downs. So I haven't filled out all these yet. I just put random ones in there so you can select it. Even in PLL parameters, this is for the outputs. We don't have all that yet because we don't have all the equations built into it. Even for the graphing, there's tons of different outputs that they can look at. We just haven't gotten all these in yet, so that's next semester. But then we'll get these load and save values working next semester. But this is what we have so far. Altogether, this is about 2,400 lines of code, and we have a lot more left. So that's what we've done so far on
Spring semester is we're going to incorporate all the formulas into our GUI. Our GUI structure of it is looking good. It's on track. It's up and running. Over the course of December, we're going to continue working on it even outside of school, outside of the semesters. Me personally, I'm going to be working on the active RC filter. Hopefully we'll get that done by the time we all come back to school in January. And then from January through March, I'll have the Butterworth, and I'll also have the passive RC filters done. Those three filters are required by our mentors to have an up and running GUI system. A Chebyshev filter will be incorporated in between March and April, and that's going to be hopefully add extra dimension, extra just customization for the user, whoever's going to be using it. Also going forward is we're going to continue implementing the PLL formulas for the VCO, the phase detector, and any other hardware components that we're going to like communicate with our mentors for, and that's going to be going on. We hope to have the majority of this due well before our demo day. That way we have ample time to debug our program, make sure everything works properly. We're going to break it, we're going to know how to break it, we're going to test it, and it should be good by the time April 27th rolls around.